Hi everybody, my name's Ollie. Welcome to another edition of The Watch Collector. Thanks so much for joining. Today we're going to talk about a brand that actually I haven't had too much exposure to. In fact, I don't have a watch from this manufacturer, and none of my friends do either, so it's a treat for me. Let's give you a little bit of a history about the brand. So Urwerk was actually formed by two gentlemen, Martin Fry and Felix Baumgartner, back in 1995. That's when they met. They formed in 1997 and released their first watch that year. And Urwerk is actually two words. Ur from the place in Iraq, old school Mesopotamia, and Werk from the German word to work, to create. And that's really what they wanted. The home of time telling, which is Iraq. Well, some may disagree with that, but that was certainly what they were trying to create when they started the brand. But mixing it with a Germanic quality, not only in terms of build quality, but also the way that they're displaying the time. And actually, I think they've absolutely hit the nail on the head with that USP. But first of all, of course, the obligatory watch check. So today I'm wearing an Eterna Contiki Bronze Limited Edition. This is number 5 of 300. With a 65-hour power reserve from an in-house movement. It really kind of got me as soon as I saw that it was released. It's got a nice kind of adventurous feel about it. I love the fact that it's got a waterproof leather strap. The fact that you've got that, what I think is a pretty cool shade of green with the bronze. I think it works really, really well. What I also really liked about it is the lume on this is amazing, and you even have lume in the bezel. So it's one of those watches that I think punches well above its price point, and because it's rare. Obviously you're very unlikely to see it out in the wild, which is, I think, what a lot of us as watch collectors really appreciate. Let's get on with the star of the show, shall we say. And what we have today is the Urwerk UR-105 TA. Now, what we've got here is it's a DLC with titanium case. As I said, I've not really had much exposure to this brand. I've seen it on Instagram and I've seen it at shows, but actually seeing it in the flesh, it's a very, very different beast to what I was expecting. Extremely light, space age, if I may say, almost alien-like, in fact, the way that it's been designed. Now, this one, as I said, is titanium and black DLC. And if I can get this to show on camera, this is the way that the movement works in terms of how you tell the time. So what you have is you've got your Arabic numerals and you've got your minutes down the bottom. And what I can do is I can pull out the pin at the top. So this is titanium. Pull it out. Nice move, nice snick as it does that. And then we can wind it, and you should be able to see how the hours move around. And it's what it does is it creates some manufacturers and some reviewers of manufacturers, I should say, talk about a dead dial sometimes. If it doesn't have, whether it's a nice reflection or a chronograph or subdials or something along those lines, what this does is it adds a real interest factor to the watch, as if it's living, it's moving within it. So let's just watch that. Very nicely done. Extremely smooth. I think that's done really, really nicely. In fact, if we push this in, we can hear what it sounds like when we wind it. It's very positive. No, I like that a lot. What it does is it really makes you feel part of the watch. And I think that's one of the things that so many of us enjoy about these things, when you really get the opportunity to interact with it. And by seeing it move and spin almost on its own axis within it, I think it gives it a bit of fun as well. If we turn over to the back, unfortunately it's almost a completely enclosed case back. You can see the turbines in a rather sort of steampunk fashion, and you have a lever here which in fact enables you to completely stop the watch, but other than that it's pretty plain. let's put it on the wrist and see what it feels like. So it's on a nylon strap, which is pretty comfortable actually. It has a different present on the wrist, I should say. Very different to any watch I've worn before. Certainly not for a tweed jacket. 100% a sports watch for your holidays, you know, if you want to go to whatever you're into really, but certainly for this sort of the sunnier environment, I would have thought. As I mentioned earlier, extremely light. I think the strap will break in a little bit. It's got bolstering through the middle of the strap on each side, which gives it a heft. It doesn't quite mold around your wrist, but I suspect that's something that will change over time. But what I do like about this is the contrast of the grey, the black, and the orange. This is the Clockwork Orange version, and that certainly does pop. Overall, certainly very different. I'm someone that tends to go for the more classical look of a watch. I do like crazy things, of course, not so much into your diamonds and emeralds and rubies and these kind of things, but certainly to something that looks a bit funky. This absolutely hits the spot. It's pretty expensive. I think it's about 55,000 plus VAT. So it's certainly not for the faint of hearted. But if you're looking for something that very few people are going to have, and if people are into their watches, it's going to attract attention, then I suspect this is probably a great choice. So overall, I think it's a very interesting watch, and certainly if you're looking for something special, something very different, I think it will do that for you for sure. Thank you so much for watching. Love to know what you think of Urwerk, or even at the other end of the spectrum, the Eterna. They're both completely different watches for different occasions, but would love to know what you think. Thanks so much for joining.